Okay, it is time for me to pop this cherry on my DD-EFI digital dash. So I've got two of them here. I've got this one here, which belongs to David. I've got this one here, which has been sitting here quite a while. That's supposed to go in my moonroof car. So I got them both laid out. I'm looking at them. Very well packaged. And Curtis, I told you I'd do this, as it's what I do with everything. So hopefully this helps all of us get this down pat for future installs. So there, Curtis sends us a business card. He sends us some cool stickers, which I'm sure Danielle will save. And then we get our GPS antenna, tap connectors, bolts, screws, etc. I'm not going to go in the car yet. That'll be another video. This is what you get. And you get the dash. I've already got my harnesses plugged into it. There's a version 1 and a version 2, and that's clearly labeled in these instructions. This one came with a breakout board, which I'm not going to need, because the breakout board is if you're going to run transducers and you're going to power them from this guy and run it into this guy. All my transducers are going to come in through the CAN bus from the ECUGN, so I won't be needing that. So let's get into the wiring. All right, yep, got the CAN bus, twisted cable. That's going to go to our CAN bus on our ECUGN. More on that later. And then these four are the main connector. This is version 2. Version 2 is 2 separate connectors. Version 1 is one big connector. Easy peasy. Then we have our GPS antenna, which will screw in there. It'll probably go in the left corner of the windshield by the VIN. That's where I've been putting those. And now I'm going to come over to the laptop. You can use his card and QR code it, or you can just Google it up and it'll come up. So here's what you need to know. Here's his V1 and his V2. Very self-explanatory. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 on the Buick. And then down there the CAN bus, and then going down to the I/O. So the I/O sensor connector, I'm only going to use the yellow, which is for my fuel level. You can see the rest of those are all if I'm going to add sensors, or sensor supply, sensor ground, all that good stuff. We'll do that directly through Megasquirt through the ECUGN. And then we have our other connector, which is our digital connector, and I will use digital input 1, 2, and 3 for left, right, and high beam indicator. And that's it. I haven't done this yet, but it seems pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to use this wire, and these guys I'll probably just shorten them up and put some heat shrink on them and get them out of the way. These guys right here, same. I'm going to use these 3. Same with those. I'll just shorten them up and heat shrink them just in case something changes down the road. And I'll use these guys. What I'm using on the Buick is the Casper connector. You guys need to be familiar with this. This was for our GNX dashes and stuff like that, our GNX lookalike dashes and all that stuff we've had for years. So again, Curtis doesn't supply this yet or making an option yet, but this comes with everything to make it a little bit cleaner. Tells you where they go, line it up with Curtis's diagram. I already checked it, it's kosher. And then we're going to solder them, and then we're going to glue them, and then we're going to take it in the car and we're going to slide it on the factory connector. I'm going to slide it out and I'm going to put a zip tie around it just for good measure. That should get us going. He already has the project preloaded in the dash. I suspect they'll communicate and we're going to have fun from the word go. A couple other things, or one other thing to add in addition to the Casper's connector, is this 16 pulse speedometer adapter for GMs. You don't need to use it with his dash. Do not. But if you want to retain your VSS input on your ECUGN data, if you want to read mile per hour, ooh, somebody's going fast, 102. Okay, you need to have that signal in there. I'm going to wire that up later, and it will be on a different video. What's going to happen is this little cute little connector is going to take the place of the factory speedo cable. It's going to screw right up in there. And then I'm going to run the wire up into the speedo grommet, which is right there. Probably have to take the console out. And then you need power and ground for this guy. Red and black and green. Green's going to the VSS input on the ECUGN, which we can find that. We can use that in the buffer just by looking up the schematic for code 24. So this is it. I'm going to pan around and go show you everything I've yanked out, minus the speedo cable. Here's his old dash, his old alky kit, install. Huh, interesting. Right before it came to me, because it came to me in 19. So this is gone. This is no longer needed. And this is the remnants of the alky kit, which is already installed and working. And this is his old gauges. We'll have water temperature. I stole the oil pressure for another car to test, and boost vacuum and volts. All that's going to be on the DD-EFI dash. We don't need redundant gauges. We're cleaning it up. I'll lower the car down and show you what it looks like inside. Okay, so we're inside the car. We got a mess. That's what it looks like. I had to loosen this up because I couldn't get my fat fingers back there to get the VSS plugs, which is right here. The VSS box is hidden back there really good. And the tack plug is usually wrapped around in the back there, but I'll screw that back in, and then this is going to stay just like it is. We got a whole bunch of extra screws, which will be good. There's our VSS buffer down there, and then some other miscellaneous wire that we will tidy up. And then the only connection from the ECUGN is going to be the CAN bus, which is going to be on the side down there. I have I'll pull out my diagram that Eric has for that, see where it is, see if I got to make that green plug down here, make a green plug and stick it in there, or if it goes on the board. And USB. USB from the ECU to the dash. Now, a tip on the USB. It can't be connected to the dash and to the laptop at the same time. Why would you need a laptop and a dash at the same time? I don't know, but it was a question I had. So we're going to install a long cable, two USB cables, and we're going to put it behind a glove box, and we're going to have it where we can unplug the dash and we can plug it into the dash, the laptop, in case those of us that like laptops want to use that. We can. So this is a long video, but this is my overview on the DD-EFI digital dash.